Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about how the Milwaukee Bucks could potentially be the next super team in the NBA. Now, before I do get in this video, I'm going to preface this video like I preface every single video I do make in this series. This is the type of video I make on every single team. It's pretty much like a season preview, but I'm highlighting all the best attributes to all these teams and saying how they could potentially be good going into this NBA season. So I do this type of video for like the Phoenix Suns, the New York Knicks, all the bottom feeder teams. I do this type of video for as well. So if you don't agree with me and you don't think Milwaukee Bucks can be the next super team, just know I make this type of video for every single team. So don't get offended, don't get triggered that I said a trash team that you don't think is going to be good next year. It's just because that was the next team up that I had to make the video on. So yeah, that's pretty much what this series is. So if you do get offended at any point or do like get triggered, please just listen to the intro. Don't comment below, oh my god, no they're not, don't. But I actually think that ironically, the Milwaukee Bucks do have potential to become the next super team, and going into the future, I think they're probably going to be one of the more dominant franchises as well. So I'm be giving 3 reasons why I think that they should be very, very good going into this NBA season. And without further ado, without rumming on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so now for my first reason for this video is going to be, well, probably the most obvious one and probably the easiest reason I could have came up with, but I felt like I had to include it, is going to be that they just have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know I just butchered his last name, but I can't say it for the life of me, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm just gonna call him Giannis. But I mean, Giannis, last year's MVP of the league last year, he's quickly becoming one of the best players, if not a top 3 already player in the entire NBA, only behind LeBron James and Kevin Durant. You can maybe make an argument that he's behind Kawhi Leonard, but I think he's right now above Kawhi Leonard, not offensively, but I mean just all around. I think Giannis is more of a impactful player on his team than Kawhi Leonard is on his team. So I think Giannis is probably the 3rd best, at least 4th best player in the entire NBA, and I think that he is going to be the next player up once LeBron and Durant retire. I think he's going to be the next player up to become the best player in the league. And when you have that title of being the best player in the league, you have the ability to bring your team to the playoffs at least single-handedly. Now, am I saying that he's going to do what LeBron did, where he brought some horrible Cavalier teams to the NBA Finals by himself? No, I'm not saying he's as good as LeBron. I'm not saying he's the next LeBron, anything like that. But with him being probably the best player in the NBA in the very near future in the NBA, I would not be surprised at all if we see Giannis being able to single-handedly carry some teams that are a little overachieving due to him. I would not be surprised at all if we see him carrying him to the playoffs and maybe even the 2nd round of the playoffs. And then you combine what he has around him and how good of a team the Milwaukee Bucks are outside of Giannis. That's just unfair going into the future. But I'm going to be getting to all that in this video. But yeah, my first reason was that Giannis is just an absolute beast, and in my opinion will probably be the best player in the NBA in about 3 or 4 years, and give or take, maybe even 2 years. It depends when Durant starts falling off and how Durant recovers from this injury. But now my second reason for this video is going to be that they have an extremely solid starting 5. Now what I mean by this is that their starting 5 is probably one of the more better, well-rounded ones in the entire NBA. Now yes, it did kind of take a hit with the loss of Malcolm Brogdon to the Indiana Pacers, and I like Malcolm Brogdon a ton as a player, and I think he's going to do very well in Indiana, but I still think this starting lineup is one of the probably top 5 and at least top 10 starting 5s in the entire NBA. Now if you look at it right now, they have Eric Bledsoe, Wesley Matthews, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. Now that's just an extremely solid starting 5 on paper, and you just look at it and you just know most of those names just from being a fan of the NBA, like I would assume you would. But I mean, now if you look deeper into all those players, Eric Bledsoe is a veteran point guard at this point. He can score the ball when he needs to, he can get his teammates involved, and he's just a very good point guard to have. He stays calm, and his talent level is high enough to be able to compete in high level games. And probably up until last year, he was a fringe all-star level player. But then you look at players like Chris Middleton. I'm very high on Chris Middleton. I really like him as a player. He's a very good second scoring option for this team. He can shoot the 3, he can pretty much score from everywhere on the court, and in my opinion, is one of the better second scoring options that you could have on side of Giannis. Now Giannis, and obviously you already know who that is, he is the clear superstar leader of this team, the future of the NBA, the future of this Bucks franchise for sure, and he's just a superstar level player. And then also Brook Lopez, he's a good veteran that you can have, he's a good veteran leadership that you always need. Brook Lopez has played in some games in his career, he's very experienced, very seasoned in the NBA, so he knows how to win, he knows how to get rebounds, and he just knows how to do all the little things right, and that's always big to have someone like that, and Brook Lopez is still a very usable player in the NBA. So, I mean, with all that being said, I think they have a very solid starting five, and that was without me even saying much on Wesley Matthews, who I think can definitely provide some much-needed shooting on the perimeter for this Milwaukee Bucks team. So I think Wesley Matthews is going to complement them very good as well. So basically, I think the starting five is very complementary to each other, and I think they all are going to play very good together. And I mean, this is pretty much the core three, or really the core four group going into their now second year together with Brook Lopez, Giannis, Middleton, and Eric Bledsoe. Now, if Malcolm Brogdon was still there, I'd be much higher on this team, but I think Malcolm Brogdon, that's going to be a huge loss, and people aren't going to realize it up until they make it to around the playoffs, where people are going to start doubling Giannis, force Chris Middleton to score, and then it's going to hurt them a lot not having Malcolm Brogdon to be that third scoring option on that team. But now my third reason for this video, why the Milwaukee Bucks could potentially be the next super team, is going to be that they have extremely good depth. Now, not only do they have a but a very good and very solid starting five, they have an extremely strong bench as well, and a bench is extremely important to an NBA team. We saw last year with the Toronto Raptors and the Golden State Warriors. Golden State, now yes, they lost Kevin Durant, but Golden State's bench, they did not have anyone anywhere near the talent level to be able to be a starter in an NBA Finals series to replace Kevin Durant. And that showed up a ton, as I mean, the Toronto Raptors, they probably could have had a few injuries while still having very good players off the bench like Fred VanVleet and some other ones as well. So I would not be surprised at all if this bench for the Milwaukee Bucks can kind of serve the same purpose that Toronto's bench did last year in the NBA Finals, because I think the Milwaukee Bucks will make the NBA Finals out of the East this year. And their bench consists of George Hill, who's one of the better backup point guards in the entire league. He's still a very good veteran to have. He's very strong with the ball. He's very smart. He's very good on defense. Now, yes, his defense has fallen off due to his age, but he's still one of the better defensive point guards in the NBA, especially when he's coming off your bench. And then at shooting guard, you have Pat Connaughton and Sterling Brown. And now Sterling Brown, you could argue, is a little bit more of a small forward, but I'm sure they're going to be using him at both positions. And that actually helps with Sterling Brown being a shooting guard, because shooting guard is by far their weakest spot on their starting lineup, but on the bench is by far their deepest spot as well. So I mean, it kind of evens out when you look at that. And then at small forward, I'm pretty sure you have like players like Arian Ilyasova, Dragan Bender, DJ Wilson, and then obviously at backup center, Robin Lopez, which is Brook Lopez's brother, and it's going to be very fun to watch. And I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on this, but Paul Gasol might still be on this roster. He might have retired. I don't know. I really don't know. But I know he was on it last year, but comment below if Paul Gasol is still on the team. I really don't know. But overall, I think these are the three biggest strengths of the team. Obviously, my first one was them having a once-in-a-lifetime player, and Giannis, and then their starting five is extremely solid, one of the more well-rounded ones in the entire NBA, and then also their depth is also extremely good. But unfortunately, guys, that's going to be it for this video, so comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Milwaukee Bucks could potentially be the next super team? Do you think they won? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you did like the video, hit the like button and subscribe button. That would also mean the world to me. And I hope you have a blessed day, because I had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Goodbye, boo. Blah.